Hello, hello, hello. All right. I don't know. These starts are always weird because I don't have like an intro or anything. So, what's up, anybody that's watching? What's up, anybody who's watching later? Millennial Raider here, just streaming, chilling. Today we have like a little bit of a packed agenda, I guess you would say. Or actually plan some stuff instead of winging it like I normally do. So here we are. So first things first is I ordered this package from 209 Goat, aka Joshua. And so I ordered a couple jerseys. I ordered one for me, one for my dad, um, and I think another one. I don't know. All right, so let me open this. Shout out to 209 Goat Josh. Funny story is me and him were well, not me and him, but I used to troll him. I would say a lot on Instagram. Before I had my millennial page, I troll him from my personal account, and we used to go back and forth. And the funny thing about that one is, you know, um, the whole time we were trolling each other, we were on Facebook, like supporting each other's raffles. So me and him have always kind of had a good relationship, So yeah, I ordered some jerseys. Let's see what we got here. So boom. All right. So we got a 93. Are you ready? Boom. Yeah. Look at that. Right. And then I got one for my father. Look at that. Salute to service. It's a Howie Long. Boom. You see it? Yep. Sheesh. Nice one. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, Josh does them right. Do good business with good people. Josh is good people. If you guys, want to get some jerseys like that, definitely hit him up. All right, let's get into the stream. So the first thing I want to kind of look at was I posted I don't even know the anime, but I posted a bunch of pictures of it, just like the Raider stuff, and it kind of went crazy. And I'm really proud of this post, just for a number of reasons. So I kind of just want to, I don't know, go over it. So let's see how do we get to that. Oh no. Boom. Oh wait. There we go. All right. So yeah, this one. So yeah, I mean this was pretty cool, right? First off, I got to collab with uh Mr. Violator and Gorilla Rilla. Those are my unks, right? Kind of finessed me into this Raider realm, right? Going to my first game, you see those guys, it's can't help but become a fan of the Raiders. So it was kind of cool one to collab with these guys, and then we'll get into it. So this picture right here, I mean, it's so dope, right? And this picture is just so funny because we sat to the left, but my wife had like a bathroom pass or an employee pass to go to the private bathrooms over here. So we used to just kind of go here use the restroom at halftime, and I just took this picture, and it's probably one of my favorite pictures. So it's dope to kind of share that. Uh, so this one's funny. So I took this picture because I was low key mad at everybody on this bridge right now. And this was because we were 2-0 versus the Jets in 2017. Marshall Lynch just came home, and look how everybody's walking. So I was like, this is ridiculous. I took a picture. What's up, Captain Ralph? So I took a picture just because, I just couldn't believe how quiet everybody was on this bridge. Maybe we, just a long day of drinking. I don't know, but I mean, it's a really dope picture though, right? That's obviously the walk from the Coliseum to the BART Bridge. Gorilla Rilla, right? You can't have a post without Gorilla Rilla. That's him holding the Game Day magazine with Al. Just love that. Mr. Violator, had to add him in. That's dope. That's my guy. So he looks tough in this picture. This is me and my wife. Just, that was a beast mode hat. Just dope times, dope era. All right. So this is 66 Mob. Those who don't know, they used to tailgate on 66th Avenue, I think, for like 4 days before the game. 66 Mob will forever hold a special place for me. They hosted like a couple kid events for my school where we sent the Raiders off. This is Grizz right here. Grizz is the GOAT, right? Grizz put me on to the Raiders, right? Grizz held events that invited Senior Raider, invited Gorilla Rilla, and, invited my school. So shout out to Grizz. Rest in peace. Miss you, brother. Doesn't look like him, but I promise you I tried like 4 pictures, and this is the best I got. So, there you go, Grizz. There you are. This is, C gate. This is walk right into section 110, I believe. This is legendary gate for me, right? Used to meet up with my boy Dan here before the game and walk in. So, fun times. Bart, I mean, this one, I won't even say anything. This is crazy. The tailgate scene, that is, I don't know. I went there for like a security interview one time in this building. So I remember that. An empty bridge to the Coliseum. Everybody knows this view. This is the view. Darren Waller, the Black Hole, Marcel Reese. That's professional picture taken by Bob Carr, if anybody's familiar with his work. Who was that? That's supposed to be Nate Hobbs. This picture was taken I think like 3 years after the Raiders left, but I just thought it was a dope view. So that is one of the posts that went crazy. Just kind of wanted to review it because it was a dope post. All right. So let's see. Let's share this one. All right. So Simone Raider dropped ranking every Raiders first round pick for the last 10 years. So let's see what he does.
Today, I will be ranking the last 10 first-round picks for our Oakland/Las Vegas Raiders. With the NFL draft just weeks away, I thought that this would be a perfect time to drop this video. Now, the Raiders have had a total of 13 total picks in the first round from 2014 to 2024, with 3 in 2019 and 2 in 2020. Now, we're not going to count the 2022 draft because, of course, we traded away our first-round pick for a certain star receiver. But as always, if this is the very first time you guys are coming across this channel and you love Raiders content, then hit that subscribe button, hit that notification icon button just to notify you guys when I upload more videos just like this. You're so close to 50K subscribers. And to add on to that, though, if you guys do enjoy videos just like this and want to see more, then let's get the like go to 1,000 likes on this video. With that said, though, let's dive right into this video. Now we're going to go from 13 to number 1. Now ranking at number 13, I have Raiders cornerback Damon Arnette out of the 2020 draft. He was selected with the 19th overall pick. Now, part of the first ever draft for the Las Vegas Raiders, Arnette was a surprise pick in the first round, the typical Raiders pick. Though a big need for the team, nobody had Arnette mocked in the first round, but Mayock and Gruden felt as if they got their guy. Playing opposite of Jeff Okudah at Ohio State, there was a lot of potential with Arnette to be a solid CB1. But that never happened in Vegas. Due to injuries, he was placed on IR and reserve/COVID list throughout his rookie year. Arnette only played in 13 total games in 2 years, totaling 25 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, 3 pass deflections, and no interceptions.
Damn.
Before being waived in 2021 by the Raiders after a disturbing video which went viral on social media. He would then join the Chiefs during the 2022 offseason before being released again and never stepping foot in the
He looks crazy.
NFL. Right now, he is in the UFL, but looking back at his career with the Raiders, it never amounted to anything and was a really big waste of a pick, especially in the 2020 draft. There was so many options that the Raiders could have went in, and to think that we wasted that pick and that was part of the Khalil Mack trade just really goes to show how bad this team was at drafting, especially during that era. Now, coming in at number 12, I have Raiders offensive lineman / offensive tackle Alex Leatherwood out of the 2021 draft, which he was selected number 17th overall. Now, I still do remember this pick because of the reaction that we had during the live stream. I remember I was going live with Raider Honcho. I think it was Murph, and I think Raider Scout at the time. We were going live all together, and man, when the pick went in, we were all going crazy like, what the hell?
In the 2021 NFL Draft, the Las Vegas Raiders select Alex Leatherwood.
Oh, no! Again, the typical Raiders pick. Now, Leatherwood was one of the biggest reaches in the Mayock Gruden era. He was the 4th offensive lineman selected, and he started at tackle, then moved to guard. Played all of 17 games in his rookie season, but he was downright awful. He only played 1 season with the Raiders before being released, and to me was a huge waste of a pick for this team, especially coming off of a season that I feel like a lot of people didn't really expect. And going into, of course, we knew that getting an offensive lineman was a big need, but we didn't need to get him in the first round. I know a lot of people wanted Trayvon Merrick, but I was one guy that really wanted Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah in that draft, and I feel like could have been a solid key piece on this defensive side of the ball. And we could have addressed the offensive line later on, but for them to reach in on a guy that nobody even expected to go in the first round, which is one of the main reasons why we struggled so much during the Gruden era. If we could just hit on our first round picks, I mean, who knows how good this team could have been. Now, Leatherwood would go on from the Bears, the Browns, and the Chargers before being out of the league entirely. So it's safe to say that he's one of the biggest busts that we've had in the last 10 years. Coming in at number 11, I have former Raiders cornerback Gareon Conley out of the 2017 draft, selected at number 24. Now, Conley played in only 2.5 seasons with the Raiders, and in his rookie season, he had only played in 2 games due to injuries. Now, in his second year is where he would show some true potential, playing in 15 games with 14 starts, finishing the season with 37 total tackles, 15 pass deflections, 3 interceptions, and 1 touchdown. And to me, seems as if the Raiders found their true CB1. It's been a while since we had somebody, and at first, I was kind of worried about this pick, but he really did look like he was going to be that guy. But then following that, the team would trade him after just 6 games to the Texans, where he would have a career best 50 total tackles, 13 pass deflections, and 1 interception. Conley would deal with more injuries before being out of the league entirely as well. Now, it is kind of surprising to me that Conley was out of the league as fast as he was, because there was a lot of potential there. And to me, kind of felt like Gruden kind of had something against him. Maybe they didn't want him a part of this team. Maybe he didn't fit the culture that, he was trying to put over here. But all I can say about Conley is the fact that even though it was a surprise pick and it came out of nowhere and not a lot of people expected him to be where we drafted him at, I do think that he had a lot of potential. He just never really lived up to it. And with the injuries that he dealt with, I guess you can say it only made sense why the Raiders wanted to move on from him, and could be one of the main reasons why he slowly started to fall off in his NFL career. Now, coming in at number 10 is former Raiders defensive end Clelin Ferrell out of the 2019 draft, selected 4th overall in the infamous 3 first-round picks to start the Mayock and Gruden era. All the big questions surrounding this draft was, who was the Raiders going to select at number 4? And especially after moving on from Khalil Mack and even Amari Cooper and having 3 first-round picks, we were all wondering, and there were so many possibilities. I remember covering this draft and wondering what the Raiders were going to do. I thought we were going to get the guy that was going to replace Khalil Mack, and I think that's what the Raiders thought they were doing here at number 4, selecting Clelin Ferrell. Of course, this is one of the craziest reaches in Raiders history, and I'm not going to lie to you guys. I try to hype up this pick a little bit, even though I was surprised about it at first. I try to look at the positives and thinking like, you know what? He was on a championship team. He was playing for Clemson. He knows how to win. He's going to come over here and he's going to give it his all, and he's going to turn this organization around. He's going to replace Khalil Mack. But
I always feel bad for these guys too, because it's not like they're bad players. I mean, why are the Raiders reaching that far, bro? But yeah, I mean, yeah, you can't even get mad at these players. They can't, help where they get selected, but that's what we base them off of, is where they're selected, right? If Cleveland Farrell was drafted in the 7th round, he looked, at least we got some contribution out of it because it's the first round, it doesn't go that smooth, man.
that definitely did not happen. Like I said before, all of Raider Nation was shocked. So was I.
Who the Raiders gonna bet? Josh Allen, Ed Oliver, Devin White.
The Oakland Raiders select Cleveland Farrell.
What?
Clemson.
Whoa! We got Cleveland Farrell. Oh.
And apparently this guy too. We honestly thought that we could have gotten Josh Allen, Devin White, or anybody else. Like literally anybody else. But Farrell would go on to have a solid career with the Raiders in 4 years, having 105 total tackles, 15 tackles for loss, 32 quarterback hits, 10 sacks, 11 pass deflections, and 2 forced fumbles. He was never elite or even lived up to the 4th overall selection. If he was taken a little bit later, around 24th or 27th, I don't think a lot of people would be on him as much as they are right now. I think it's just more of where he was selected, why a lot of people call this a bust. But, Farrell had some high expectations coming out of the draft. It's a good thing that the Raiders ended up selecting Max Crosby in the 4th round, because that was the guy that ended up taking over Khalil Mack's role over here and being the face of the Raiders. He basically turned into what the Raiders thought Cleveland Farrell was going to be over here. Now, Farrell would go on to play for the Niners and then the Commanders last year, now serving as a rotation.
It's always like disturbing to see a former Raider just in that Niner stuff. Makes me want to throw up, gross.
Defensive lineman in the NFL. Now, I don't think that Cleveland Farrell's career was all that bad. I think he's going to be a solid rotational defensive lineman in the league for years to come. I just don't think that he ever will live up to that 4th overall pick. Now, coming in at number 9, I have former Raiders safety Jonathan Abram out of the same draft, selected with the 27th.
Bro, what were we doing in the draft?
Now, this is the 3rd first-round pick in the 2019 draft. This was one of the more exciting moves from this draft because the Raiders were getting one of the top safeties, a hard-hitting and athletic.
Is it Salmon or Salmon?
Player with so much potential and seemed like the old school type of Raider player that we haven't seen in quite a while. He also was known for his trash talking on the field, and his character showed up even more during HBO's Hard Knocks. In Abrams' rookie season, he suffered a season-ending injury, only appearing in 1 game. He would go on to play in 3.5 seasons with the Raiders, totaling 255 tackles, 8 tackles for loss, 9 quarterback hits, 12 pass deflections, 3 interceptions, and 2 fumble recoveries. Now, Abram was a solid tackler, but struggled so much in coverage. His time with the Raiders would be filled with ups and downs, but eventually he would be released from the team in 2022. Since then, Abram has bounced around from team to team and just hasn't been that guy that we all thought that he could be. But he definitely left us with some funny memories.
That gum gonna taste too good, though. I start swallowing it. Didn't I have no gum?
Swallow no damn gum.
Man, I swallow all my gum.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Coming in at number 8, I have former safety Carl Joseph out of the 2016 draft, being selected 14th overall.
Dude, Carl Joseph was going to be my guy. Damn. I think it was like in 2021. I went to the Niner Raider game in SF, and he was on the field a little too much. And I was like, "Oh, this might be the end of the road for bro." So, damn, Carl Joseph.
Joseph was expected to bring that physical, hard-hitting play back to the silver and black, and he did show some promise in his rookie season, making the PFWA all-rookie team, playing in 12 games, missing the final 4 games due to injury. recording 60 total tackles, 6 pass deflections, 1 interception, and a fumble recovery. Joseph would go on to have a solid 2017. Then his play started to decline over the years before becoming a free agent after the 2019 season. From there, he would have a 1-year stint in Cleveland in 2020 before finding his way back to the silver and black, this time in Las Vegas. But that wouldn't last long because he was released just months later till he joined the Steelers. Now, I would say that Carl Joseph's career with the Raiders was filled with so much hope that he could be the next great safety, but he just never lived up to it. Coming in at number 7, I have Raiders edge Tyree Wilson out of the 2023 draft, selected number 7 overall. Now, the first.
Listen, all right? His story isn't done yet, all right? There's still business for Wilson to be done, all right? There is some real estate he has on that wall right there, all right? And this room is not that big, okay? I don't have room for this real estate. I need that to, like, work out, okay? I don't want to have to replace it. So, listen, Wilson, the story's not over, okay? We might get something out of here.
First round pick in the Josh McDaniels, Dave Ziegler era. I remember this draft because everybody was wanting Jalen Carter, but knowing the Ruggs incident, I understand why the Raiders didn't go into that direction. But how crazy would it have been to have, Carter on this defensive line right now? That aside, though, this pick was questionable at first, only because the team recently traded for Chandler Jones, but no one could deny the talent. With Wilson's size and strength off the edge, it was exciting to see how this D-line would look with Wilson opposite of Max Crosby. And it took some time till we finally got to see some action from Wilson in the offseason.
Wilson, bro, you're supposed to be hooping. What? You look like a Power Ranger right there. Why aren't you hooping? Look at that.
Due to a foot injury. And in the preseason, he showed a lot of upside, but there was questions about his get off the line. Wilson would struggle early on in his career, but has slowly come into his own this last season with 27 total tackles, 10 quarterback hits, 6 tackles for loss, 1 forced fumble, and 4.5 sacks. Who knows where his career will go, but I do have a good feeling that his best football is ahead of him. And with guys like Max Crosby, Christian Wilkins, and even Malcolm Koonce coming into his own, I do believe that Tyree Wilson will definitely start to become a dominant force on this defensive line for the future. Now coming in at number 6, I have former Raiders wide receiver Henry Ruggs III out of the 2020 NFL Draft, selected 12th overall. Now this is the first ever pick in Las Vegas Raiders history, and the first wide receiver selected in a loaded class with names like Jerry Jeudy, CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson, Brandon Ayuk, just to name a few.
Man, what could have been with Ruggs, bro?
Ruggs has had some high expectations to become the next Tyreek Hill for the Silver and Black. Though I did really want CeeDee Lamb at the time, none can deny that Henry Ruggs was one of the top receivers, especially if the Raiders were able to utilize him correctly. Running a blazing 4.27 at the NFL Combine, you already know that Al Davis would be looking down smiling at this pick. Now, Ruggs' rookie season would be subpar, playing in only 13 games with 26 receptions for 452 yards and only 2 touchdowns. But on the bright side, he averaged 7.
But listen, okay, those stats are stats, right? He had like 2 game winners out of there, all right? And then it's not easy to do, all right? The one, what's up, James? Are we ready? But yeah, so what's his name? Henry Ruggs. I think it was that Jets game he had the game winner. And then I don't want to say he had the game winner against the Steelers, but it was a crucial touchdown. I don't remember off the top of my head. I just know it was a crucial touchdown. So, the stats weren't there, but it's not, it's not all about the stats.
17.4 yards per reception. So going into his sophomore season, all signs pointed to him having a breakout season, which I would say he was having up until the bye week, where his whole life changed in an instant. Of course, we all know what would happen, leaving the Raiders no choice but to releasing him following the tragic incident on November 2nd, 2021. His career will always be a what if, because up until that point, Henry Ruggs was on the verge of having a breakout season. In only 7 games, he already racked up 24 receptions, had more yards with 469, and 2 touchdowns, averaging 19.5 yards per reception. Now, even though Henry Ruggs' career was cut short, I do believe that he's already had a better career than the names I've already named so far. Now, going into my top 5 picks, man, I'm starting it off at number 5 with former Raiders wide receiver Amari Cooper out of the 2015 draft, selected 4th overall. Now, I have a fond memory about this draft because I got to kick it with one guy that really inspired me to do YouTube in the first place, Mikey Raider. If you guys remember him, Raider Central, I got to link up with him for the very first time in West Hollywood or North. I forgot where he's at, but somewhere in Hollywood. But we got to link up and watch the draft together, and we were there to react to this draft pick when we selected Amari Cooper. Now, Cooper was the number 1 wide receiver taken in a draft that was highlighted by both him and Kevin White.
I would have took Kevin White. I'm not an Amari guy. I will never say why I'm not an Amari guy, but I'm not an Amari guy.
And say what you will about Cooper in the latter years with the silver and black, he was one of our best wide receivers in a while, especially paired up with Michael Crabtree. The Raiders had one of the best wide receiver duos in the NFL.
Now, aside from that, for me, Amari Cooper was like a Billy Butler on the Oakland A's for me, all right? Yeah, he's going to have a nice, flashy touchdown, but the Raiders were probably either up by like 20 points or probably down by 20 points, and didn't really matter his touchdown. You know what I'm saying? Billy Butler wouldn't do anything, but he would hit a beautiful home run if the A's were either up by a couple runs or down by a couple runs. Never in the clutch. And so that's my feelings on Amari Cooper's time with us.
Cooper would make an immediate impact in his rookie season, becoming the first Raider rookie to surpass 1,000 yards receiving with 1,070 and 6 touchdowns. And in his rookie season, he would also go on to make the Pro Bowl and be added to the PFWA all-rookie team. Now, Coop would only play 3.5 years with the team before Gruden shipped him off to Dallas. But in that time, he played in 52 total games with 225 receptions for 3,183 yards and 19 touchdowns. On top of that, adding 2 Pro Bowl selections. Though he did struggle with Butterfingers at time, I would say that he gave the nation many highlights to remember over the years. And hopefully one day we could see Amari Cooper back in the silver and black just one more time. Coming in at number 4, I have Raiders offensive tackle Colton Miller out of the 2018 draft, selected at number 15. Now, this was the very first pick of the Gruden era, and I was
salute to you, brother. Hey, I'm doing a new segment after this video if you want to either come back or stick around, but check it out. I think you might like it.
Say it was a great pick considering all the picks that we've had in the first round and how many, picks that didn't really pan out for us a part of the Gruden era. So with that said, though, the Raiders would trade back 5 spots with the Cardinals to select UCLA's offensive tackle Colton Miller at number 15. At the time, I did question the Raiders pick because the Raiders drafted Miller higher than many people expected him to go.
Raiders, right? It's like him, AJ Cole, Daniel Carlson, and Max Crosby. Those are the last Oakland Raiders. And after that, that's it.
But even though this goes along with the theme that we've been talking about all video long, this one actually panned out because fast forward 8 years, Miller is still on the team, which is really rare. Like I said before, considering all the draft picks that we've had in the first round during the Gruden era. That being said, though, Miller has been a cornerstone on the Raiders offensive line since being drafted, anchoring the left side of the offensive line and being one of the most underrated players in the NFL. Miller has been durable, has been consistently starting in nearly every game each season, barring minor injuries, and he's shown leadership as a key leader on the offensive line and being a mentor to all the young linemen that have come and gone on this team. Miller isn't the same player that he once was, but he continues to be a pivotal player on this offensive line for the Raiders up to this day. And
I have a list for that Coliseum seat over there. Miller's definitely on that list. So one day I'll get him to sign that Coliseum seat. You know what I'm saying?
For that, I have to give him the number 4 spot just for the fact that he's survived all these years since 2018, because there's been a lot of change, but one has remained constant, and that has been Colton Miller. Coming in at number 3, I have Raiders tight end Brock Bowers out of the 2024 draft, selected 13th overall. Now, I would say that this was the most unpopular pick during draft day for the simple fact that the Raiders didn't need a tight end at the time after just drafting Michael Mayer the year prior in the 2nd round. Now, with that said, though, Bowers has made an immediate impact in just his rookie season, breaking multiple records as a tight end with the most receptions and receiving yards as a rookie, recording 112 receptions for 1,194 yards and 5 touchdowns. And as great as that has sounded, none of that has led up to any wins because the Raiders would go on to have the worst season in Las Vegas history, winning only 4 games. 4 games. And that goes to show you, no matter how great you might be or how great you might look, if we don't have a full team, if we don't have all the right pieces together, we cannot win games. But I'm not going to take away from any of Brock Bowers' accolades and what he's been able to do in his first year, because he definitely looks like a cornerstone for this team and for this offense for years to come. And to think that he did it all with Gardner Minshew, AOC, and even Desmond Ridder throwing to him, I got to give him a lot of props for that. So who knows what will happen moving forward, but knowing Geno Smith is coming over here, he at least has a weapon that he can definitely utilize for his very first season. And I think that, Brock Bowers, even after a crazy rookie season, his best football is definitely ahead of him. Coming in number.
All right. So number 2, the Goose is either going to pick Max Crosby or Josh Jacobs. I'm almost sure it's going to be Josh Jacobs number 2 and then Max Crosby number 1, right? That's where we're at. Let's see.
Number 2, I have former Raiders running back Josh Jacobs out of the 2019 draft, selected 24th overall. Now, the second pick of the 3 first-round picks of the 2019 draft, thanks to the Khalil Mack trade, the Raiders would go on to select the number 1 running back in that year's draft, of course, Josh Jacobs. Ranking one of the worst rushing teams in the year prior, it made a lot of sense for the Raiders to address the running back position, and selecting Josh Jacobs was the right choice. Now, Jacobs would go on to have a standout 5-year.
Jacobs is my favorite Raiders running back of all time. You guys know me. I don't base it off stats. I don't base it off past guys. Ruggs and Tyree would be lower than Clee and Adams. Yeah, I agree with that. But Tyree, it's still, the story's not over. All right, the story's not over. So yeah, but yeah, Josh Jacobs. I mean, before it was Darren McFadden for sure, but this Josh Jacobs is pretty much like if Darren McFadden didn't get injured. That's kind of for me what Josh Jacobs was.
Year tenure with the Oakland/Las Vegas Raiders, establishing himself as one of the premier running backs in the NFL. He would come out the gate swinging in his rookie season, playing in 13 games, rushing for 1,150 yards and 7 touchdowns, breaking the rookie rushing record set by Marcus Allen. Also becoming the first ever Raiders running back to rush for over 1,000 yards. He would also make the NFL All-Rookie team in 2019 and go on to be in the top 100 as well. Now, I do believe that one of the biggest disrespects in that first year for Josh was being snubbed of the AP Rookie of the Year, where that would eventually go to quarterback Kyler Murray, because I do believe that Josh Jacobs had the best rookie season of that year offensively. Now, I know that they could blame the Raiders' record at the time, and knowing that Kyler Murray was a quarterback, I feel like that was the main reason why they gave it to him. Nonetheless, I do believe that Josh definitely deserved it. Now, outside of that, Jacobs still had a phenomenal career with
not Zamir White yet. Hold on, sorry, my mouse is all messed up right now. Oh, yeah, there we go. So yeah. Trent Richardson is an easy pass, but Zamir White, not yet.
With the Raiders, earning multiple Pro Bowls becoming the NFL rushing leader in 2022 with 1,653 yards, the second highest in Raiders history. Also making NFL first team All-Pro in 2022. He also set a team record with 303 scrimmage yards in a single game versus the Seahawks in 2022, where he capped off that game with a 86-yard touchdown in overtime. And to add on to that, he will be the main reason the Raiders went to the playoffs in 2021, winning the last 4 games. And after all of that, the Raiders never seemed to treat him as that guy, not picking up his 5th-year option and also tagging him, never giving him the extension that he deserved, which led to him leaving in free agency to the Green Bay Packers, which to me is one of the biggest mistakes that the Raiders have made in recent history. And coming off of a season that we struggled so much in the rushing game, it would have been nice to have Josh Jacobs. And it's one of the main reasons why I do believe a lot of Raider fans want to go out there and draft a guy like Ashton Jeanty with the 6th overall pick. Nonetheless, though, Jacobs has been one of the best picks that the Raiders have had in the first round in the last 10 years. Now, the number 1 spot would actually go to the guy that we traded away to get Josh Jacobs, and that guy being Khalil Mack out of the 2014 draft, selected
Max Crosby, but he wasn't a first rounder.
5th
Okay,
overall.
I like this list. Okay, but I don't know. I feel like I would put Josh Jacobs over Khalil Mack. Like I love Khalil Mack. I love me some Khalil Mack. But I mean, longevity, right? I guess that 5th year Josh Jacobs was with us. I don't know. That's tough. But yeah. What do you think, Afakasi? Sorry, brother.
Raw. Now, this was the first ever Raiders draft that I have covered on this channel, on the Samoa Raiders channel, was that 2014 season. And I can definitely say that Khalil Mack was the one selection that lived up to his draft pick entirely, being the face of the Raiders defense since day one. Mack would headline a loaded Raiders draft in 2014 alongside of guys like Derek Carr, Gabe Jackson, Justin Ellis, and Shelby Harris. And in his 4 years in the silver and black, Mack would record 304 total tackles, 9 forced fumbles, 4 fumble recoveries, 40.5 sacks, and a pick 6. Also being named to 3 Pro Bowls in 2015, 2016, and 2017, being the 2016 NFL Defensive Player of the Year, being the 2016 Pro Butt Kiss Award, which is given to the top linebacker in the NFL, and also has been named a 2-time first-team All-Pro and is the first ever player to be named to first-team All-Pro at 2 positions, linebacker and defensive end, in the same season.
It's because he never should have been listed as a linebacker.
Khalil Mack would anchor the Raiders defense and become a key to the team's playoff appearance in 2016. Now, I would definitely say that Khalil Mack was the identity of the Oakland Raiders in that time period up until the Gruden era, where he would end up getting traded away to the Bears for 2 first-round picks, which would send shockwaves across the NFL. Ironically enough, in that same year, the Raiders would stumble across his predecessor in Max Crosby, but that wouldn't come until the 4th round of that year's draft. But the 2
You guys remember when it was supposed to be Arden Key that was going to replace Khalil Mack? What a change, right?
first-round picks that we did get for Khalil Mack, those turned into Josh Jacobs in 2019, which I would say really panned out for the Raiders for some time. And then 2020 with Damon Arnett, which, of course, we know what happened there. With all that said, though, nobody can deny the talent and the heart that Khalil Mack brought to the Raiders with his time in Oakland. And just like Amari Cooper, like I said about Amari Cooper, I just hope that one day, just one day, we could see him back in the silver and black. All right, Raider Nation, man. Let me know what you guys think about my list.
All right. Not a bad list. I wasn't expecting Khalil Mack to be number 1. That was pretty fire. So good job. Good job, Moose. All right. One thing I want to tap into before we get into the last and final news segment was this little nugget of a story right here. The Raiders could trade Aiden O'Connell during the NFL draft. To me, Aiden O'Connell reminds me of Matt McGloin, right? They keep bringing this competition, keep bringing these starter quarterbacks to, put him on the bench, but we end up wanting to see Aiden O'Connell play. Same thing with Matt McGloin. I feel like they kept bringing in backup quarterbacks, to replace him, and he just kept beating everybody in camp. So it's kind of funny how this reminds me of that. If he gets traded and we get something good out of it, so be it. I know he's a fan favorite. I mean, how can we not like the guy? He's been nothing but a team player through how many? This is going to be his third coach in 2 years. Always ready to go, always ready to take over, always giving us a show. And then we see him the other day getting dropped off by his girlfriend and his dog, right? So, wholesome guy. Love that he's a Raider, but if we get picks out of it, I'm down. All right. Let's see. So this new list, we are making a tier list. I don't know if people I'm sure you are familiar with it. It's basically you just rank tiers, right, of stuff. And so this one we'll be doing of pass catchers. This is me winging it. This is me not going by stats. This is me not going by feelings, right? This is me not going by anything other than when I watch the game, your hands, what did they do in the game? And, catching the ball, right? And so that is what I am basing this list off of. So, let me know what you guys think about the list as well. But, I'm just assuming there's some wide receivers on here that aren't so popular, So let's see. Let's get here. And boom. All right. So we'll go from top to bottom to rank it evenly. So we'll go Timmy. We'll put S tier for Tim Brown, right? That's easy. Jerry Rice for the Raiders. I don't know. Jerry Rice for the Raiders, I feel, in my opinion, like I don't really have anything where I can think of just like big game moments for Jerry. But I think his impact on the team, his knowledge, and what he brought to the Raiders will put him a B tier. Doug Gabriel. Pass catching, there were some games that were on him and he showed up big. I'll put him B tier. Is this Amari Cooper? I don't know, man. I try to be fair with Amari Cooper. I don't know. We'll go. I'll go A tier with Amari. All right. Wait, is that Amari? No, that's Ronald Curry. Ronald Curry, we'll go C tier. I don't know if I put Amari Cooper. Oh, yeah, he's just on here. All right, that was Ronald Curry. My bad, y'all. Jerry Porter. Jerry Porter was a lot of hype. Jerry Porter was good. But me personally, I expected a little bit more out of somebody who shared the same locker room with Jerry Rice and Tim Brown. And so I'll put him in a C tier for that. Denarius Moore is a personal favorite of mine. Impact, I'm putting him in A tier. That's just my feelings for Mr. Denarius Moore. Let me know. Let me know what you guys think about this, right? Let me know if I'm crazy. Let me know if I'm cooking, right? Slot Roberts. Slot Roberts for me in the clutch. We'll go A tier. Amari Cooper. All my feelings aside, I will put Amari Cooper in the A tier. Is that Michael Crabtree? Yeah, Michael Crabtree. That is easy. That is going S tier. That is A1 right there. He just the story alone for Michael Crabtree was what the Dolphins didn't want him, Niners didn't want him. We ended up signing him, and it worked out for both parties, right? Hunter Renfrow. I'll put A tier. That's for sure. It's easy. Zay Jones. I will go with B tier. His story, right? Derek Carr talked about it, like how he just every morning he would ask, receivers to throw, and every morning Zay Jones would respond, and you can see that work on the field. So shout out to Zay Jones, Jacoby Myers, I'll put him in A tier. We'll go with B tier for now. All right. He crushed it, but I want to see some impact crushing it. Devontae Adams. Devontae Adams will go A. I know he's not a favorite, but when he showed up, he did what he was supposed to do, and the rest kind of unfolded. So we'll go A tier with Devontae because that was some premium play we were getting right there. Jacoby Ford. I mean, that's going to be S tier for me. I'm sorry. Jacoby Ford era was incredible. So we'll stick with that for Jacoby. Darius Hayward-Bay. I always feel bad, but I'm sorry. I'm going to go D tier. Was not a fun experience. For Louis Murphy, I will go B tier. Louis Murphy had impact on the game. There were some plays that didn't go his way. He probably didn't have the best lineup of quarterback, but he would still, show up in the clutch. Sometimes it would count, sometimes it wouldn't. But, that stuff's not his fault. So I'll go with that. I remember the face of crowd relief not being drafted when. Yeah, that's also part of my favorite story for Michael Crabtree is how it worked out, because he was a better pick, but would he have became one of my favorite Raiders if we had drafted him? I absolutely don't think so. I think it would work out the way it usually works out. So the fact that we got him later on when we had a quarterback to throw to him is also adds more to the story of Michael Crabtree being a Raider. So yeah, that definitely sits the back of mind. So funny story about this, James, is I don't know if you've ever seen, but my entire family are Niner fans. My entire family are Niner fans. And I went with my cousin to the Niner draft party at their facility in Santa Clara, and I was wearing all Raider stuff, and that was it. It was up in the air. It was either going to be Michael Crabtree. He was either going to go to the Niners or he was going to the Raiders. And so when I was in that draft party and the Raiders picked Darius Hayward-Bay, I got so much shit that it was unbelievable. I was literally in the fire, but my cousin dared me. I wasn't gonna be no sissy. I was wearing that Raider stuff. I was going to that Niner party. We were there. All right. Back to it. So last but not least, Randy Moss. All right, before we get to Randy Moss, this one's good. Yeah. I don't even know if he dropped that many, bro. He just had bad quarterbacks too, but he couldn't prevail the bad quarterbacks, I guess. There was receivers that could prevail sometimes, but his was 0 of the times. All right. So Randy Moss. This might not be a fan favorite, but I will put him A tier as well. He had Kerry Collins. He had Aaron Brooks as his quarterback. His first year, I mean, I remember running a play in Madden all offseason, and then the Raiders come out and running that play against the Patriots, and it worked. And he was doing what he was supposed to do. It is really tough, I think, to be really good at what you do, and everyone around you is just not keeping up with you, right? And so I know people are upset that he went to go to New England, but I mean, if I could go play with Tom Brady and I'm one of the greatest to ever catch the ball, I'm going to go play with Tom Brady. So, yeah, I mean, that's my list. This was fun. I hope to make more. Let me know what you guys think. I'm about to head out. Check out my new drip, right? We got the draft Darren McFadden t-shirt. So rocking that today. Everybody have a great night.